डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी.
Namaskar, dear students. Myself Zeel Sagar Shah, working as an assistant professor in School of Computer Science in Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University. We are in the lecture series of Object-Oriented Programming using C++, in which we are in Unit 8, that is Introduction to Classes and Objects, Part 2. So, our today's agenda is defining member functions and array of objects. So, let's start with defining member functions. So far, we have already come to know that a class holds both the data and functions, which are called data members and member function. In the last lecture, we have studied about data members, that is variables in class. So the member functions of a class can be defined in two places, that is inside the class definition and outside the class definition. So what is inside the class definition? The data members of a class must be declared within the body of a class is known as class definition inside the class definition. Member functions are defined into the class definition and have access to the data members and other member functions. They are associated with a specific class or object and can be used to perform operations on the class data members and interact with the other objects of the same class. So, what is inside the class definition? The function which we use to perform some functionality or behavior of a class, then and when we declare our function in the class itself, then it is known as the class definition inside the class. So, as I said, when a function is defined inside a class, it is treated as an inline function. I hope now you get the idea about inline function as we learned about inline functions in the previous lectures. So, all the restrictions and limited that applied to inline function are also applicable to the function defined inside a class. So what is the syntax of function defined inside a class? Let's see. So first is return type, then function name and the formal parameters. Now I hope you know the difference between formal parameters and the actual parameters. Formal parameters are the parameters used in the functions and the actual parameters are the parameters we pass in the int function, that is in our int main function. So over here, return type, function name and formal parameters and then the function body. So let's see some example of inside class definition. First of all, I have defined my class student. In that, I have two variables, that is two data members, int id and string name. What over here I have done, in inside class, I have declared one member function, that is void display student. Over here, I am just simply print the name of the student and the ID of the student. In first is void display student and void set details. So over here int stud id. So this is a formal parameter. String stud name, student name. So over here id is equal to stud id. So over here ID is the whichever my integer value which I pass in actual parameters, that will be typecast in ID. So after the class get over, in int main I have declare one object, that is student s1. Why student s1? Because student is a class name and s1 is a object. So s1 dot set details 1 and zeal. So parameter 1 is student ID and zeal is a student name. So this is a actual parameters. So when I run this program, what I will get is name, zeal and ID 1. So what is the outside class definition? Member functions that are declared inside a class have to define separately outside the class. So this is outside the class definition. The definitions are very much like the normal functions. They should have a function header and a function body in our class. An important difference between a member function and a normal function is that a member function incorporate a membership identify label in the header. So what is identify label? This label tells the compiler which class the function belongs to. So what is the outside class definition syntax? Return type, class name and the scope resolution operator and the function name and the formal parameters and function body. So let's see the example of outside the class definition. So first of all, I have defined one class student. This is same as we used in our earlier slide, but over here the difference is I have defined I have declared two functions, that is void display student and void set details in the class itself. Two functions, that is void display student and void set details in student ID and string student name in the class itself. And I used scope resolution operator, that is void student and scope resolution operator and display student. And in that function, I am simply printing out name and ID, just like the previous example. Over here, I am using void student scope resolution operator set details. In that, I have passing formal parameters, that is int student ID and string student name, and ID is equal to student ID and name is equal to student name. And int main, I have declared one object s1 with a student class, that is s1 dot set details, s1 dot set details 1 zeal, s1 dot display student. So over here, when I compile this program, I will get as zeal and 1 as my output. So I hope now you get the difference between the functions, that is the member functions declare inside the class and outside the class. So now let's see array of objects. As you know, how array works in C++. array is a sequential data type which we use in our previous lectures. So we have used in our primitive data types, that is int a, and then 5, that is size of 5, array of size 5. So over here also we can use array of objects. So array of objects is in C++ is a sequential collection of objects of the same class type. Just as regular array holds elements of a basic data type, an array of objects stores and manipulates multiple instances of a particular class. Like I said earlier, we have used arrays in our primitive data types, and now we will use array in our user defined data types. Each element of an array of objects represents an individual object which possesses its own attributes and methods. So over here, let's say a book, and in library we are having 100 of books. So what will we do? We will have an array of books, and in that if I simply want two details, that is a author name and price of the book. So what I will do, I will not use one by one class and then get the details. Instead, I will use array of books, in which I just simply pass two things, that is author name and price. And to get the details in one by one, that is in sequential manner, what I will do, I will use for loop to iterate the array objects. So let's see the simple example of array of objects. So I have defined one class book. In that I have two data members, that is character name 20 and int price, in which what I have done is in public specifier. So by default, the specifier of a object of a class is private, and when I want the details of that private members, what I will do is I will use that data members in public. So void set id, and I have no parameters. So cout, enter the book name, cin name, cout, enter the price, cin price. In void I get id, what I am just simply printing out the name of the book and the price of the book. So in int main, what I have done is I have created fb2. So over here I have initialized the book object with a size 2. As you know our how array works, so for int I is equal to 0, I is less than 2 and I plus plus. And in simply what I have done, fb I dot set id, fb I dot get id. Over here, why I have taken I is equal to 0? I hope now you get the idea how array works. So when I compile this program, what I will get as my output, first I have fetching the details of first book and the second book, that is C# and Java. Thank you for watching the video. In the next lecture we will study about the various other functionalities of classes and objects in C++.
Smart स्वाध्यायः